Living eternal is the subject matter of this video. Now, fair warning, you don't have fair warning to those who are not Christians or followers of Christ. This video is not made to objectify or judge you on that. But this video talks about living eternally, meaning like immortality, you live forever. Versus rather than living here and now. The key fundamental of living eternally is having the behavior and attitudes of living life. Now, in my previous video, I talked about living with purpose. But now we're talking about living eternally. It's one thing to live with purpose and another to live eternal. Now, the purpose of living eternal is simply the behavioral attitudes that you have around you. Like obedience, no stealing, things like that. In the Bible, if you don't read the Bible, that's fine. You can always read that on Public Gateway if you want to gander at that. But those of you who do read the Bible, it's in Matthew chapter 5, the Beatitudes, to be more specific. Now the Beatitudes, to sum that up, to elongate that word, it means behavioral attitudes. That's what it is. That's what it means. Now, the Beatitudes talk about how we present ourselves in this life. Because this life is just a dress rehearsal before the actual event. So, the Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5 are simply, blessed are those in spirit, and theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people reveal you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For the same way they are persecuted the prophets who are before you. Now, those are the Beatitudes of life. Now, when you look at it fundamentally, it's saying these are the attitudes, the behavioral attitudes you have to live eternally with God. But like I said, this life is just rehearsal to the main event. So we gotta practice these every day in the here and now. Because if we don't, how can we live in eternal forever with God? Those who don't, well, I'm sorry to say, I hate to say it, but they will live forever without God. Subsequently meaning hell. Now, I know that doesn't sound appealing to you, but what I'm saying is people generally will live forever, like having immortality. Let me explain this. There are two sets of people. People who live with purpose for God, people who don't. Now, it is true. Some of you people may want to know God and want to believe in Him. Then again, there are those who don't and are stubborn as not to. And that's not a personal call out for those who don't believe in Him. But what I'm saying is that some people are too much about themselves. They don't see life as of them. Okay, if you're seeing Left Behind, and you hear the actor who played Nicolas Carpathia, he said there's no heaven or hell, it's just us. Now, that might be a little bit true, but not really true at all. There is a heaven and hell because there is a supernatural world out there. Now, like I said in my previous video about living with purpose, we have to understand the visible side of life. We have to understand the invisible. Like I said before, we don't see God, but He sees us. Now, does that mean something to you? I mean, think of Santa Claus. He knows when you're asleep, and He knows when you're awake. The same concept with God. He knows. Now, I know you're thinking, is He a hawk? Okay, now, that maybe we're stretching it. But fundamentally, what I'm saying is that God is there. He may be invisible to us, but we are visible to Him. To live eternal, we have to understand that fact. Now, I don't want to seem like I'm preaching here, and I kind of assume that I am. That is not what I'm trying to do now, or here. I'm just trying to have you hear me out, because we need to understand to live eternal, we need to understand what it's like to live it now. Now, over the generations, over the eras, the years, people always say Jesus is coming back. Well, 21st century is the final stage. And of course, there will be a 22nd, 23rd century. I'm pretty sure that there will be. But what I'm saying is, everything now in the 21st century is just a pre-op, the dress rehearsal, so to say, to the actual event. I think what I'm trying to say here, to make my point more clearer for you, is the fact that the coming of Christ is not even more so closer than it was a couple hundred years ago, let alone thousands of years ago. Because people have always been saying that. Oh, Jesus coming, look busy kind of thing. Now, I'm not saying look busy. I'm saying look and wait. That's all I'm saying, is look and wait. No one knows when He comes back. Not even I know. So, to wrap this up, I'm just going to say to you that to live eternal is like having immortality with God. Like I always say in these videos, subscribe if you can, keep coming with reviews, and tune in. Thank you.